Welcome into King Wales album review party. Today we are going to be continuing our theme of Grammy snubs and dubs because the Grammys are on February 2nd. So it's kind of now or never, do or die time to get these out. So we wanted to kind of talk about our thoughts on what songs were nominated, what songs were ended up being snubbed, and same for albums as well. And today the category is rap and hip hop. And so today, of course, I have my co-host Ty, who's with me. How you doing, Ty? How's everything been?
Hello, everyone. Doing great. Happy to
Doing
be
great.
here.
Glad to hear it. And for a second episode, we are joined by my good friend Friday Jones from Friday's Dope. Friday, why don't you say hello to everybody and let them kind of know what you do?
Hello, everybody. My name is Friday Jones. I am an artist, creative entrepreneur, or an ACE for short. In addition to making music, I also help artists develop their brand experience, and I have a live music venue and production studio that's located in Uptown Charlotte called Friday's Dope House. And yeah, every first Saturday from 12 to 4, we do re-up and we invite artists in to try out different instruments, hop on the mic, and then again, we offer other products and services that help artists to develop their artistry in a way that is aligned and meaningful.
Mhm. And I'm going to be there this Saturday, so you should too, if you're listening and you're in Charlotte.
The
Um,
party continues.
the party continues. Amen. So obviously this category is probably the one that we collectively know the most about. So while it has like the least like categories itself in it, like different specific awards, it might be one of our longest episodes on it because there's so much that we know and can unpack about it. So we will just go ahead and dive right in. We're gonna start with best rap performance, right? And so the different nominations for best rap performance were Enough by Cardi B, When the Sun Shines Again by Common and Pete Rock, Nissan Altima by Doechii, Houdini by Eminem, Like That by Future and Metro Boomin, Yeah Glow by GloRilla, and Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar. So, for my category on this one, I'm going to give not necessarily a snub, but I'm going to give a honorable mention that if because Code of the Friend and Logic released a song called Blah that didn't come out until after the cutoff, and like if I was their manager and I knew like this was going to be the list of best rap performance, I would have been like, you guys got to get this out before August 30th because it could easily be nominated because that song was fantastic. But anyway, for the best rap performance, this one was tough only because you have Like That and Not Like Us on the same category. And, I'm like, I already know, like, I kind of ended up going with Not Like Us, not necessarily because I think it's a better, I'm sorry. I ended up going with Like That rather than Not Like Us. Like That, of course, is Future and Metro Boomin featuring Kendrick Lamar, and Not Like Us is just by Kendrick Lamar. And I ended up going with Like That over Not Like Us, mainly because I had already nominated Not Like Us in like a couple other categories. And so it's not necessarily like wanting to spread the love a little bit, but I'm also like, I think Kendrick Lamar's verse in Like That is better, right? So I think I'm kind of using that same logic between R&B. Like I think a vocal performance for best R&B performance versus best R&B song is more towards the production. And so I think the production on Not Like Us is better than Like That, but I think the lyrical content of Kendrick Lamar's verse on Like That, like he has some crazy, crazy lines on there, besides just the fact that Like That was what kicked off the whole Drake Kendrick beef and now has made Kendrick officially one of the biggest artists on the planet. But like he has a line in there where he's like, you see a dog with all these nines, and I can't even think of like the exact phraseology of it. But some of the lines on there, I think, are because Not Like Us had a very specific purpose, right? It's a diss track for Drake. I'm dissing Drake, and so, but I think Like That, Kendrick is just demonstrating his lyrical ability. And so, like I said, I don't necessarily think that Like That is a better song because I don't even remember Future's part on Like That, right? Like if you take Kendrick Lamar off of that song, it doesn't even belong in this category. Like Kendrick Lamar is the only reason why it's here. But I will say that I like his verse on it better than I like Not Like Us. His verses on Not Like Us. So that's why I ended up giving it the dub as best rap performance.
Hmm.
So Ty, what did you have for your snubs and dubs on best rap performance?
This one definitely had me torn because there are tracks here that I think, why is it even on here? There's
Hmm.
some that feel like they're only here for the name recognition of the person who made it, and it's kind of a bummer to see. But there are some genuinely great performances, and hip hop is such a wide, or rap is such a wide genre that I was torn between a couple for different reasons. So like on one hand, I really want to say Not Like Us just to see like a shining representation of like hip hop and rap beef represented at the Grammys in such a way that it's incredible, but it's far from what I would say is like the peak of what rap is. Like Not Like Us feels like a finish lap for an event in
Hmm.
history, not necessarily what I call out as like my what I think is like the best representation of like a rap performance. And so I think I might go with my definitely not gonna win choice. The artist here who has surprised me the most from this year was actually Doechii. So I'm gonna go with Nissan Altima because I
Okay.
loved Alligator Tears. What is it? Alligator bites never heal. That album was so great. She's such a great artist. I love that she's up and coming. She has gotten so much attention and spotlight. Her style feels very different from what I had heard before, and I'm just very of these songs, it's the one that at the end of the year has me most excited to look forward to in the future,
Okay.
if that makes sense.
Yeah. No, I can understand the reasoning behind that there. That's kind of what I don't know, I guess pushes it along for you. And like I said, this category is obviously dominated by what Kendrick Lamar did. And this entire rap nominations are dominated by what Kendrick Lamar did in the hip hop industry this year. And a lot of these songs, like I almost went Houdini with Eminem, but that one to me, it's just not as good as like that. And Eminem's entire album, well, we'll get into more of that a little bit later. And some of these songs, I think you're right. Some of them are here. Like I think if anyone else had done Houdini besides Eminem, I don't know if it would be here. Same lyrics, same everything. If it was anybody else, I don't know if it would be here. Same thing for When the Sun Shines. Kind of the same thing for Enough. Like it kind of feels like some of these are here because, and we also didn't like as much as the hip hop beef dominated, we also felt like we didn't really get that much hip hop in 2024. Like I feel like there wasn't as much to choose from. And again, we'll kind of get into that a little bit later. But I think you're right in that, and we'll see that later on too. We'll see it feels like a lot of things are here because of name rather than actual quality. Um, but all right, Friday, what do you have for your snubs and dubs?
I don't have any snubs, but I don't know. For me, it's looking like Not Like Us for the dub. Like
Uh-huh. Yeah.
it just dominated. And especially if we're talking about performance, I think the beef added something so like unctuous to the performance that it was like a release. It was like this whole cathartic experience. So I don't know if first of all, I'm not sure again, categories, the names, the titles, exactly what that
Right.
means. I would love they need to have a definition
Mm-hmm.
underneath it. But if you're saying like best rap performance, now Doechii definitely like slaughtered Nissan Altima.
Mm.
But not like us. Not like us, I think, set a tone for hip hop in a way that has never been set before.
Mm-hmm.
Um, So in terms of that perform, and I guess in my mind, I'm specifically thinking of the what was it, Amazon Music?
Amazon Music.
Was that where he performed? I think it was an Amazon
Oh,
Oh,
performance
the Kia Center.
on in the key in LA.
in LA. Yeah, the party. The
Yeah.
He did it
Yes. Where he
five
like performed it
times.
like yeah, in a row.
I mean,
What other song could you play that many times in a row and it still hits at the
my
fifth time that you play it?
and
Right.
like people are like, please perform this at the Super Bowl because otherwise, why are you at the Super Bowl? And not to discredit his career, but this song is what's catapulted him into the stratosphere of
Right.
superstardom as like a
Right.
hip hop artist. So, and that performance, the breath control, the no backtrack,
Hmm.
like there were a lot of elements in that performance again that make me feel like he was in the ether when he was
Right.
like hitting that stage and doing that like and then the people he brought out the community that he united
Mhm.
if you were to talk about a performance, I don't think I've ever seen anything like that.
I see what you mean.
I
So it
almost
would
wish
kind
they
of be
had
like
like
live.
specified that specific
Yeah.
event
Kia Center.
for this, right, his Kia Center like pop-up that he did. Like
And in that
that
Yes, the
should
case,
be
pop-up.
yeah,
here.
I probably would
Yeah.
have chose it too. Yeah, based upon that, what you guys are saying there.
Right.
Um, yeah, that makes
Part
a
of me
lot of
almost
sense.
wishes they had waited because, we're recording this right now before the Super Bowl. I just
Yeah.
saw the ad the other day where they are playing like in adverts for it. They have like a Creole jazz rendition of Not Like Us they're using to advertise Kendrick Lamar's performance at the Super Bowl. So part of me almost wishes that
Oh
they
my
had
gosh.
saved this for, and like that will
Right.
probably be because like it's one thing to have a big like pop up, but this is going to be in your mom, like my mom's TV. Someone who could not
Right.
care less about Kendrick Lamar, and he's going to get the exposure to get this song out there to everybody in the US. People who do not care about rap are going to have to listen to Not Like
Dan, dan,
Us.
Unless
dan
they
And
it.
turn
like
off, yeah.
yeah,
Um,
that I almost posthumously want to say like that's probably going to be like the performance of 2024 is the one that
for
hasn't
the
even
Grammys.
happened yet.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. Um,
absolutely.
I mean, with that, we might as well transition right into best rap song because all of this kind of like factors in again, best rap performance versus best rap song. So I think you're right. If we were talking about like the Kia Center performance specifically, the fact that he did that five times in a row would probably make that the best rap performance for me as well. But even with that, that wouldn't change my choice for best rap song. And so I'll go through the nominations again. I'll go for the nominations for best rap song. So we've got Asteroids by Rapsody, Carnival by Kanye West and Ty Dolla Sign, Like That, of course, by Future Metro Boomin featuring Kendrick Lamar, Not Like Us by Kendrick Lamar, and Yeah Glow by GloRilla. And so this one is where obviously I'm like, okay, to me, the best rap song is Not Like Us. And it's not even close. And so the only reason why I didn't have it win both categories of best rap performance and best rap song is because, like I said, I think Not Like Us is better as a completed song. But if I'm looking at
Mhm.
Kendrick Lamar's verse on Like That, I think the way that it set everything off and also the lyrical bars that he like dropped on it is what made me have to give it for best rap performance. Like one of those lines I was talking about, he says, for all your dogs getting buried, that's a K with all these nines. He gonna see a pet cemetery. I was dead when I heard that. I was
Mhm.
absolutely dead when I heard that. And like just looking at the beef, that's why and I also feel like I got to give like he needs an award for both things, right? Like he needs an award for Not Like Us and for Like That. Because like when you look at the beef itself, it's like first person shooter by Drake and Kendrick. I mean by Drake and J. Cole comes out and they're talking about, we're big as the Super Bowl and it's a big three with me, Kendrick, and Drake. J. Cole says, who's the big three? It's me, Kendrick, and Drake. And then Kendrick responds and it's just like, yeah, no, you guys all suck. And just basically smacks them all across the face. Right. And then we keep going throughout the beef. And like Drake's first response was actually pretty good because Drake was like,
Hmm.
"Wait, what do you mean big three?" He's like, 21 Savage is more popular than you. Travis Scott is more popular than you. And SZA is more popular than you. So Drake was like, "You're right. There is no big three. You're just not in it." And so then, of course, Kendrick responds, and then Drake goes back, and then Kendrick completely ends it with Not Like Us. And then the fact is like after the end of the beef, Kendrick surpassed 21 Savage and Travis Scott. So everyone that Drake said was more popular than him, Kendrick was able to surpass in popularity because of the beef. So Drake literally ended up like having the beef. He ended up manifesting, helping to manifest the very thing that he said Kendrick wasn't good enough to be as popular as these artists. And then if you go all the
Yeah.
way back to the beginning, J. Cole said we're as big as the Super Bowl. And who's performing at the Super Bowl? It's Kendrick Lamar. And it's like we talked about a long time ago in 2016, where Chance the Rapper literally manifested winning the first Grammy for a mixtape because it could be counted as sold, even though it was given out for free. And he literally predicted it like a year before it ended up happening. And it's like, I feel like Kendrick has done the exact same thing with this beef. Like he has become as big and like I don't even know if he knew like when he responded to it that I'm gonna host the Super Bowl on the strength of this, but
It makes
like
for good
there's
poetry, though.
right, it's
Like
like there
it's
is
such
no
a good
better
ending.
way.
Poetic justice, I think, might be the
Yeah,
best, you
yeah,
know.
oh yeah.
Yeah. Poetic. That's perfect. That's perfect. It's like it feels like it's a movie. Like it feels like it's a movie clip where like he's like the protagonist and someone wrote this in a script. But it's like, no, no, no. This is real life. This really happened. No one came up with this or invented this. This is just the way the events played out. And like this is the most like satisfying and complete victory to a rap beef we've definitely, I feel like, ever seen. Because a lot of rap beefs just kind of fizzle out or the artists like kind of make up. Like first of all, I'm glad that they never made up. Like there is no makeup. Like Drake is suing against them right now because he's so upset that this did so well. And like I said, I think it's just the best ending. So to me, when I look at all of those things considered, I'm like the best rap song has to be Not Like Us, and I'm gonna give some love to Not to Like That for best rap performance because that kicked the entire thing off. And like Kendrick Lamar literally manifested his victory in every way possible. And that is still just insane to me. But yeah, that's
It
why it
makes me
gets
wish
best rap
that
song.
this was it makes me wish that this was its own separate category, like moments in music, like
Yeah,
should
best hip hop
be
moments.
itself, just like a moment period, like
Hmm.
throughout like music. Something like this should be, because awarding it to just the song doesn't feel like enough of a testament for like what went on outside of the actual music that was made from it. A
Hmm.
great song, and my choice for best rap song on here, Not Like Us, but it almost doesn't feel enough. Like it should be its own award in itself, like acknowledging not just the music itself, but where music exists kind of like culturally and in the zeitgeist. Because like conversations around it, like not even just like the song itself, but just people talking about the song in a way united because of the song and how like influential and far-reaching it was, should itself be its own award. Because
Absolutely.
Hmm.
there's nothing there's been nothing like that, to me, in years, and I can't imagine another event like this being represented for years. And I think because, I mean, all art forms obviously, like they touch into culture, into people's lives. I think awards like this should be there not just to celebrate what is made, but the impacts that they then have. And I think really shifting a focus on rap, because I think what Kendrick does is also take a focus away from like the popularization of pop rap. Like he focuses on his own style and flow, and he broadcasts that to the masses. He doesn't make a song that's catchy and conformity. He proves by his own merit that he belongs where he is by taking down Drake in like a infamous rap beef. And the fact that he did that is so crazy. And I eat it up. I love
Hmm.
watching watching people talking about it. I've loved in the months since like going to people and asking, what did you think of the Drake and Kendrick beef? Regardless of what side they stood on, it's just so interesting to hear people talk about it and to see how far reaching it has been.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I totally agree. Like a cultural impact award would be
Yeah.
something really
Cultural
cool
impact,
to
yeah.
add to like the nominations. What he
Yeah.
did, and honestly, or even like a rollout strategy, right? Because what
Hmm.
also happened with this, it really gets the whole conspiracy theories going about just how mastermind diabolical Kendrick is, right? So like, the theories about, oh, he's been working on this since Poetic Justice, right? Like the ideas that like the strategy behind this, right? The ideas of the mole, the ideas that this is something that he's been wanting to do and the release, the back-to-backs, the
Hmm.
everything that created the clamoring around this project. Um, and then to drop his project, right? So,
Hmm.
he was able to take advantage of all of the momentum. It was almost as if he was like, okay, I really don't like this person. How can I use that to my like most extreme advantage
Right.
Right.
and
Right.
to their most extreme detriment? And then he put that action into play and then to the audience's most extreme entertainment.
Right.
So it was
Yeah.
like he poured all three of those bottles together and concocted something that will live in infamy forever. Like I don't know a rap beef that could top. I don't know any beef like Carolina
Mhm.
Duke. I don't know is bigger than than
Right.
Drake Kendrick at this point.
And
So
Hmm.
it's
yeah.
it's so good, I think, because like they also were, considered allies at one point. Like,
Hmm.
Hmm.
Drake gets a lot of credit for kind of not necessarily putting Kendrick on, but kind of. Like, people
Hmm.
talk about a cosign. Kendrick appeared on Take Care, which is Drake's album that rocketed him to like the star and fame that he is. And, Kendrick wasn't really as known back then. And so he got to
Hmm.
feature on it, and that was considered like a huge win for Kendrick. And then Kendrick got Drake to feature on his song Poetic Justice, and it's kind of like, okay, having Drake's name on it helped bring it all the way up. And I'm not gonna lie, like even when the beef started, I was kind of rooting for Drake. Not rooting for like hey, I want Drake to win, but I'm like, all right, Drake, make it interesting, right? Like Kendrick seems untouchable, right? Most people agree he's one of the most lyrical rappers out there, and you might feel like he kind of has you on the lyrical standpoint. I know your brain cannot concoct the things that his brain can come up with because it's just a different level. But let's see if you can make it interesting. I want to see if you can, and he did that. Drake did that with push-ups. He made some good points. Um, the problem is like he really got away from them, and that next song he dropped, the Taylor one, that one was just whack with all the AI of Tupac and Snoop Dogg and him being like, "Oh, we're trying to wait for your response." Like to me, that's also where he lost it. But even if he hadn't done that, obviously Kendrick was still going to end up smacking him around and winning. But I think like when you mention about unifying and the way he brought all those people even to like the Kia Center, the thing is like most rap beefs are pretty divisive, right? And we live in very divisive times, even right now. Well, especially right now, not even right now, especially right now. But like, when it was Biggie and Tupac, you were West Coast or East Coast, right? It was divisive. It was, are you a Biggie fan or are you Tupac fan? And unfortunately, people like died over that beef, literally. But it was extremely like there wasn't a unification there. It was very divisive in the hip hop community. Like if it brought people together to talk about the beef, there was going to be a fight breaking out because someone was going to say the wrong thing about Biggie or Tupac, right? Kind of the same thing with Jay-Z and Nas. It was hugely divisive. Either you were a Nas fan or a Jay-Z fan, and that beef was huge. It ran deep, and people did not like each other based upon that. But now we fast forward to here, and it's like even if you're a Drake fan, even if you think Drake is the best artist in the world and you love him, there's no way you're saying Kendrick did not win this beef. There's no way you're saying that Kendrick did not. Like, any Drake fans that I know are all like, I like Drake, but yeah, Kendrick won. Kendrick won. Kendrick won. Like Kendrick, I listened to Not Like Us. Like they all won. Like they all feel like he won, right? And like this isn't the first time Kendrick has done something to really shake up the industry, like when he called out all those rappers by name in 2013. Um, and J. Cole like kind of tried to address it, but didn't really. But this is the fact that he's able to do it again and keep doing it and use it to rocket himself to a level of fame that I honestly never thought he would get to, because I didn't think Kendrick had enough crossover appeal. Like he's always going to appeal to a lot of hip hop fans, but the people in the top 10 appeal to fans of every genre, right? Like The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, Post Malone, every genre likes them. Drake, obviously. You can like pop and love Drake, right? You can hate rap and still listen to Drake. But Kendrick will only really appeal to hip hop fans because he's such a hip hop purist almost. But now he's transcended that. Like I'm like I feel like he's the first like hip hop artist to like break out of his genre and appeal to people that don't even like hip hop, but they care about the beef and they're wondering about it because he's broken so many molds. So, yeah, I mean, we could go on and on and on about
And
the beef and
if
everything.
I may use that to segue, it's then to me a bit of a travesty that GNX gets no nod because of timing of
Right?
when it was officially dropped, yet J. Cole's Might Delete Later gets a Best Rap Album nomination,
We will hop into that right now.
which just in and of itself feels so poorly representative of the year 2024 with rap.
Hmm.
Like that,
Right.
if like in 10 years, I don't think anyone looking at this list would think that that accurately summates
2024. No,
2024
because
at
you cut
all.
off the cutoff is halfway through the year, August 30th. That's the eighth month. Like maybe you could say like three-fourths through the year, but also it's like GNX. Like I think because it's Kendrick, people will still be talking about it. But I'm like, I don't really want it to win Best Album in 2025. You know what I mean? Like it
Mm-mm.
feels like it needs to be considered here. Um, but we'll hop into Best Rap Album because that was the perfect segue into it. And like it's almost hard for me to like read this list out loud, and I hate to say it like that intensely, but there are some very big snubs on here that make me disappointed in what was selected. So you have Might Delete Later by J. Cole, which is the biggest travesty to me. The Auditorium by Common and Pete Rock. Alligator Bites Never Heals by Doechii. The Death of Slim Shady by Eminem. And We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. I feel wrong to pick a dub out of these choices necessarily, because I feel like there are so many great albums that didn't even get a chance to get nominated. So I'm going to start with my snub, which is obviously I wore the shirt for this occasion so I could support it. And to me, the biggest snub is Samurai by Lupe Fiasco, which was an absolutely incredible album, critically acclaimed, universally loved. Everybody that listens to it that I know was like, "Oh, that was so dope." I love hearing Lupe go back to really give us some like jazz rap bars, and like the idea of crafting an album based upon if Amy Winehouse was a battle rapper. I mean, we've dissected this album like dozens of times on this podcast, and it should have been here. It should have been here. And Lupe's like, to me, the it's not like Lupe's never been nominated for a Grammy before, right? Like I'm not talking about Code of the Friend, someone maybe the Grammys don't really know or hasn't made enough noise in the industry. Every single one of his albums has been nominated until Lupe went independent. Then they stopped getting nominated. And to me, that's almost like a like almost like record labels being like, well, we don't really want this guy to keep getting nominated because he's not signed anymore or something. And I know it's probably not what it is, but it's like, what other reason could you have? Like Drill Music and Zion, Samurai, all these albums are better than some of his previous works. Lasers was nominated for a Grammy when it came out. But you're telling me Lasers is better than Samurai and Drill Music and Zion? Like it's not even close. Not even close. And it's like, what's the only difference? Okay, well, Lasers, he was signed to a label, and Drill Music and Zion Samurai, he wasn't, right? And people might argue that he's like kind of fallen off from the public view of hip hop, but like I can't think of anyone that's heard the album would agree that it deserves to be here. And same with Ultra 85 by Logic. That album was phenomenal, and I think ended up being my album of the year. And I think I would have chosen Samurai to be best rap album. And the fact that it's not here again, Logic has been nominated for Grammys before. And I don't know if the Grammys felt like they needed to give people with big names their spot, but like Might Delete Later. The album is literally called Might Delete Later. It might not be here on streaming services in a couple of years. And you're going to give it something that gives it an award as a legacy for all time. Like J. Cole, like it's not like it's some like poetic, like deep motion. J. Cole literally titled it Might Delete Later because he's like, I might delete this later. I just feel like I gotta respond to the beef. Now there's a great song on there featuring Absol and Daylight called Pie, and that song is amazing. But this is not best rap song on bad album. This is best
Right.
rap album. Might Delete
And
Later. I love J. Cole, but this is not a good album. And he knows that, and that's why he called it Might Delete Later.
and even the song that would draw you to that album to begin with. Again, not to delve into like reviews of these albums,
Uh-huh.
but 7 Minute Drill is already off of most streaming platforms
Right.
at the time of this. And that was the response that J. Cole had to the beef, the reason that this album came
Came
out
out in the
in
first
the first
place.
place. And it's gone. And in 10 years, this is just going to be looked back at as a really poor decision based on everything else here.
Right.
I
And
think
then,
he would regret winning a Grammy for
Yeah.
this.
Oh, yeah.
Like when you
right.
think about who he is, it's like, oh, this is how I get it?
I think
Really?
J. Cole would give it back.
Yeah.
That
Or give it to
Like,
Kendrick.
yeah,
that
just be
would
like,
be
here,
that
man.
would be the funniest thing if he actually won and his acceptance speech was, "Why did you guys give me this?"
I literally
I
called it like,
I
and
called it. What? How much more clear can I be?
it's like this is not like a J. Cole like poetry moment or like secret double entendre. No, it's literally just because he was getting a lot of flack and needing to respond, and he's like, okay, I gotta do something. And then later on, he was like, you know what? I really shouldn't have done anything. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it reminds me of this one is this one episode of Friends where Ross and I'm not gonna go into like the whole detail of it, but there's this hilarious episode of Friends where Ross is like with his cousin and something really awkward happens and he's like, okay, just say anything, say something. You gotta say something. Anything you say will make this worse. And then he says something so incredibly stupid, and then she just gets up and walks away. And he's like, "Yeah, you really shouldn't have said anything." In his head, like that's this album. This album is a Friends meme. It is a Ross and Friends meme from that one episode. And I
Mhm.
just, and to me, like when I look at these other ones, like The Death of Slim Shady, I tried to like it, but it was like Eminem's war on like Gen Z. And I'm like, I don't care about what you feel about woke people and all and whatever. Like there was no like Eminem. He was just like, you can't cancel me. And he basically repeated that 11 times throughout the album. And it was like, okay,
Okay.
that's not a I don't care. I want to hear you rap. Like I don't care about what you feel about them. We Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin. I mean, like, would it even be on here if Kendrick didn't do a guest verse on it? I don't think so. I don't
I
think
feel like
so.
Kendrick is the unmentioned nominee
Right.
for
Because
Yeah.
Best Rap Album
he's
because he
the yeah.
inspired Might Delete Later, We Don't Trust You, and then Doechii's TDE. So it's like
Hmm.
there's like this whole like
It's like
this
Kendrick Lamar really
background
did
there.
win.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's
Hmm.
like, I'm so good of a rapper, I can get bad albums nominated for Grammys. That is the
Hmm.
ultimate Kendrick Lamar flex that we have established here. He is so good, he's getting bad albums nominated for Grammys. And like the Auditorium by Common and Pete Rock, like if I had to choose, this one ends up being my dub. Um, because it was very I went to the concert. I like Common, I like Pete Rock, and I thought it was a fine album. I don't necessarily think it was Grammy worthy. Like it kind of feels like trying to recapture like an old not like an old time, but trying to recapture kind of that magic of the 90s. And that's why I wish Samurai was up here because Lupe is like bringing such a fresh perspective to it when he does Samurai. And Logic did the same thing with Ultra 85. Like the Auditorium felt like it should have come out in the 90s. Ultra 85 and Samurai feel like music for today that's referencing and coming from that era. And it's like to me, these nominations, you whoever picked these nominations, I feel like you don't listen to hip hop. Like you can't tell me that you listen to Ultra 85 and Samurai and still went with "We Don't Trust You," "The Death of Slim Shady," "Might Delete Later," and even "The Auditorium" over them. You can't. You are lying to my face. I'm sorry. So who like whatever got nominated here, it just feels like you don't listen to hip hop. You just listen to the tabloids, and you saw, oh, J. Cole responded to Kendrick with "Might Delete Later." Got to put that on there. Oh, "We Don't Trust You" started the beef with Kendrick and Drake. Got to put that on there. And then it's just Eminem, so you just put Eminem on there just because. But I think that's the best way I will
Yeah.
sum up this category. Kendrick Lamar is getting he's so good, he's getting bad albums nominated for Grammys.
Yeah, the Auditorium feels like the old head pick specifically for old heads. And if Common didn't make it, it wouldn't be up here. And
Yeah.
it's really sad to see that. I think the same thing with Eminem, The Death of Slim Shady. I almost wish there was a traditional rap
We should
category, like
like
what
I
we were
think it's
talking
about time
about
where
with
we could have
R&B,
that. Yeah.
because the the range of the options here themselves don't even feel representative of all of rap, and even what's here doesn't even feel like the best if each pick is its own like little subcategory. Um,
Mhm.
but my pick absolutely has to go to Alligator Bites Never Heal by Doechii, which I'm surprised that it's here, of
Mhm.
like considering, the contemporaries that are also up here. Not surprised in its quality, just surprised that above other things that I thought would get more recognition, that Doechii was able to carve out. I think it's a testament to how much work she's done, how much she's kind of blown up this year. And it's a stellar album. Like, it's really, really good. I was not familiar with her before this year, and I'm so happy that I've become introduced to her.
Mhm.
She made an instant fan out of me. This album, it is like, it's deeply personal, but not like, it doesn't feel like pretentious at all. Like, she has so much fun, and I feel very thankful. This is one of the things that I'm kind of glad that something like the Grammys exists for, is that it can,
Mhm.
kind of spotlight and highlight artists that you may not have ever heard of. It's why I'm a big fan of the, like, was it the breakout artist of the year or like new artist of
Yeah.
the year category, because I usually end up going and looking at all of those artists like after the Grammys anyway, because I'm so interested to see, okay, yeah, who are some new people like coming out onto the scene. And to see Doechii kind of come and hit the rap album category while making a project that is like, it feels deeply personal at times, and yet she also has so much fun recording it, that it almost reminds me of like old rap albums where you would have like five skits interlaced between them. it there's no skits, but it's like she blends that style into her music itself. And so it's a long album, but everything flows so well together, and she's so charismatic on it that it feels exciting to listen to, and it feels better representative of what rap can be to me than the rest of the choices up here. Nothing else here excites me like Alligator Bites Never Heal does. And I always think, okay, this album's really great. Would I want to hear this again? Would I want to hear like a sequel, or this artist to evolve upon this idea later in the future? Of the choices here, it's the only one that has me excited
Mhm.
for the future as well. And so she far and away takes that. Although I do want to just shout out, I think if, like, timing wise, if Chromacopia had come out in time to be nominated on this list, that would probably take my pick.
Mhm.
And though I don't think he'll ever get a nomination up here, I do think I Lay Down My Life for You by JPEG Mafia was really great this year. It's not traditional rap. He is very experimental with it, but he's always experimental in a way that is challenging and interesting to listen to. That I wish he got more recognition on a
Mhm.
stage like this.
And I do kind of agree with you on that point, like because like because of the Grammys and because I want to do this series where we like kind of talk about what got snubbed and dubbed on it, I ended up listening to Doechii Volume 4 by Jacob Collier. And I had heard Jacob Collier's songs before, and I was kind of one of those people that's like, he kind of does too much. I'm not really a huge like Jacob Collier fan, but I always respected what he does because like as a jazz musician, I know what it's like to kind of go like I don't know how like making music that's very very chordal, I guess, like making music that really feels like music and like it's like the intellectual side of music almost it feels like having weird chord progressions and like sevenths and ninths that don't really seem like it makes sense, but somehow it still works instead of just the normal like 1 5 6 4 chord progression. Um, but I ended up loving that album. And there's a lot of really great songs on it. And like those are songs that I'm going to continue to listen to. So the Grammys did help in that way. So, I won't just like, trash them for this travesty of a of nominations on there and on here. But I because I know I was there's a lot of emotion I just exhibited, but as you could probably tell, the nominations or specific lack of certain nominations compared to other ones really kind of got under my skin. And I think, like, for me, this is the only category where I'm disappointed in what got nominated over what didn't. Like, other times when there are snubs, I can kind of understand why they're snubbed. This is the only category where I'm like, there's no explanation that would satisfy me. But
Mhm.
anyway, moving on to Friday. Do you have any snubs and dubs for best rap album?
Best rap album? I don't think I have any snubs. I'm trying to think about it. Um, I don't think I have any snubs. What I would say is I hope it's Doechii. Um, I was gonna say I think it's Doechii. I hope it's Doechii, but um, very similar to what Ty mentioned. It's like it's the one person where you're excited about what else is to come. I think that the project was really, produced very well. The content that I've seen from her is really how much she's poured into her craft, the performances that she's done, right? She is taking the, what I would say, like the TDE mastery, um, and really embracing that. And I think that that's why she's the first female rapper signed to TDE.
Mhm.
There is a reason why she is being included amongst that elk of artists. So I think this is like one of those really cool things where it represents her area. I think that's another reason that she probably aligns really well with TDE. They do a great job of taking who they are and making that so artistic that it becomes relatable. Like it's never, oh yeah, everybody just grew up in this area, right? No, we didn't grow up in LA. I didn't. Like I don't know
Mhm.
all of the dances they're doing, but they make all of these things so culturally relevant because they're able to express their experience with such clarity and with such artistry that it connects to people um, in such a deep way. So I love that, she's from Tampa. She's representing, where she's from and what she's doing. But again, even the label alignment, I think is going to see some crazy things from her in the future. I don't know if you
Mhm.
saw her, I think it was SNL performance. Her tiny desk was beautiful.
Mhm.
So you're starting to see that she is an artist, and I love that. I
Mhm.
love being
Mhm.
able to see people who are pushing the genre. And I think, shoot, out the gate, we get a Grammy. Why not?
Mhm.
Why not? Go ahead. Let's see what happens after.
I mean,
Right, especially for how early she is in her career. Like it feels like she hasn't even like truly started yet. It's like she just turned the ignition on to
Yep.
what is something
And her
powerful. And
Nissan
she's
Altima.
in her Nissan Altima. And she's already like this like refined. Like it feels, it's crazy to me to think that she's about my age and yet she has such this like a clear identity for herself and the kind of art that she wants to make and how like clearly that comes across in the music that she makes. Like it really feel like I feel listening to it, I'm getting to know the person a bit. And then when I go back and like I'll watch interviews with her or like things like more intimate settings like the Tiny Desk performance, which was really great. It feels so like validating because I'm like, yeah, I totally see that based on the music you made. There's this level of authenticity to everything that she's doing. And again, bringing it back to everything that it compares to, I got nowhere even close to that messaging or that intimacy or even that like integrity or that idea of trying to make something so authentic. I didn't get that from any of the other choices here. And so whether or not she gets it for her own credence, which I think she should, or not, I think she should get it for what her album represents here above the other choices. That
Yeah.
kind of like authentic artistic representation just shines brightest from Doechii this year.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that she was TDE until this conversation. So that's good company to be in because Absol is one
Mhm.
of my favorite rappers. I think one of the most lyrical rappers, guys, around that time. So hopefully, they'll get to do something together soon. Um, and I think like if I had to predict who's going to win, I would say I think We Don't Trust You is probably going to end up winning, which is not going to make me happy. Uh, but if I could just like guess, I think that's probably what's going to happen. And I think they're going to do it based upon, well, like that by Kendrick. Is probably going to like I
Mm.
think Kendrick is going to sweep all these other categories. Like I think,
Yeah.
Not Like Us is going to win. Like I don't think there's any way it's not going to win rap performance and best rap song. And I think because of it, because of like that, I think We Don't Trust You is going to win best rap album, even though I do not find it to be deserving of it. So yeah, we can all pretty much agree that Might Delete Later and Eminem could both be replaced with Samurai and Ultra 85, at least, or replace We Don't Trust. Just
I'm
only
fine
have
with
four
that.
categories. Yeah, like that works for
I'm
me.
fine with that.
Um, so our last category in rap. Thank you for sticking with us so long. If you have, I'm glad we did it in the way that we did because we were able to kind of like seamlessly transition into each different specific topic. So best melodic rap performance. We have Kehlani by Jordan. I'm gonna butcher this name, but Adetunji featuring Kehlani. Spaghettii Beyonce featuring Lyndon Martell and Shaboozey. We Still Don't Trust You by Future and Metro Boomin featuring The Weeknd, Big Mama by Latto, and 3 a.m. by Rapsody featuring Erykah Badu. So on this one, I really don't have a snub again because I was trying to think. I don't think there's anything that's come out this year that's made me be like, oh, this should really be on here as far as melodic rap goes. I think this was a great year for classic hip hop and not necessarily classic, but like I said, to me, Ultra 85 and Logic, they gave us two incredible albums this year. I said Ultra 85 and Logic. Logic and Lupe Fiasco gave us incredible albums this year. And so I feel like it was a good year for like boom bap, hip hop, more classic style rather than like melodic rap. Like I don't really think we got something that represents that well. Like I would say Black is an artist that I actually really like who would probably fit this category well. Ty Dolla Sign does a lot of like kind of melodic rap stuff, but again, we didn't really get much from either of them this year. I don't think we got anything from them either this year. So I ended up going with 3 a.m. by Rhapsody and Erykah Badu. And I'm not gonna lie, it's not like I don't necessarily believe this song deserves a Grammy or I'm like this song is absolutely incredible. It's more based upon the competition and also the incredible respect I have for Rhapsody and Erykah Badu. I really like the song. Um, but if you were like, "Hey, do you want to just give this song a Grammy just because?" I'd be like, "Well, I don't really know if I would." But again, based upon obviously Erykah Badu is a legendary neo soul singer, and I'm kind of like surprised that like it even got nominated in this category because Rhapsody I feel like is one of those artists that like the industry it doesn't like try to hide, but like she's so against the grain even for like female rappers, and like she just stands out as so different, right? And like there's a lot of people, there's a lot of conspiracies. Like I hear from my cousin that like, the industry doesn't want Rhapsody to be popular and they're like purposely keep her down. And I'm like, Okay, man. But it is nice to see her get nominated for two different Grammys, and I feel like if there's a category where she should win, this would be it. And, I would love, and I got to see Rhapsody in concert. I actually, now like if I had to choose like what song of hers that I would nominate for a Grammy, I don't think it came out this year, but she has a song called Hat She Put featuring Queen Latifah, and obviously it doesn't fit under melodic performance, but like if I could give a snub for best rap performance or best rap song, it would be that song, because that song she did with Queen Latifah is absolutely phenomenal, and I am so glad they did a song together, because I feel like Rhapsody is like the second coming of Queen Latifah. Like Rhapsody is Princess Latifah. That didn't really make sense. But anyway, I hope they do an
I
entire
got it.
album together. You got it? Okay, okay, okay. If you heard this Rhapsody, I'm sorry. I just it was a really great song, and I kind of got caught up there. Because I even posted a remix of it, and like she commented on it and was like, "Hey, keep going." And I was like, "Oh my God, Rhapsody commented," like But anyway, so I definitely feel like 3 a.m. is the winner here. Like I said, it to me it's a great song, and even compared to all the others, like I don't even have to say I'm just giving it to her because it's Rhapsody. It's like it is a better song to me than every other song listed. And it's like I know we just talked about how Kendrick, like has his influence over all of these categories. And it's like, how about the fact that like Rhapsody, her first introduction onto the scene, or one of the things that really helped her get out there, was because she appeared on, guess whose album? Kendrick Lamar's To Pimp a Butterfly, on Complexion, A Zulu Love, where to me, she had the best verse on the entire album, even over some of Kendrick's verses on To Pimp a Butterfly. I could rap that verse for you right now. It's one of my favorite verses by her of all time. Um, and here she is nominated. That was like 9 years ago, but it's like, man, Kendrick really does have his hand over this entire nomination Grammys list at all. Like, obviously, Rhapsody is her own artist, but like, she's very much so associated with Kendrick Lamar, because that was kind of like her cosign that helped her, really, really get into like the mainstream of things. But like, I recently got to see her perform at Amos South End right here in Charlotte. And that was really cool. It was a really intimate performance. And so yeah, I got to give it to Rhapsody. 3 a.m. by featuring Erykah Badu. Is definitely the best song on this list, and I think she's very deserving of it. So Ty, snubs and dubs for melodic rap.
No, no snubs. My dub is absolutely 3 a.m. I love Erica Badu so much.
Hmm.
I think Mama's Gun is like one of my favorite albums of all time. It's probably it always that list always fluctuates. But
Hmm.
it is so up there. She as an artist is so beautiful and inspirational, and I always feel like I learned something whenever I listen to her. And 3 a.m. feels no different. I think her and Rhapsody make a song that almost doesn't even feel like rap. Like it feels almost like spoken word at
Hmm.
points of this track, and I love that. I love that that's what rap can be, and I love that it's a wide enough definition that it leaves room for this like spoken word esque track to exist and for it to be not just like a niche choice, but something that is up here and represented, like at the Grammys. So,
And I think I got to interject here because I'm a double check on something. But Rhapsody also, yes, Rhapsody released her album Please Don't Cry
mhm,
on May 17th this year. So it was eligible for the best rap
it was
category. And that
it was
is
a good
another
album.
snub. Yeah, because it is a great album. So Please Don't Cry, Samurai, and Ultra 85 all should have been there over Eminem, J. Cole, and Future and Metro Boomin. At
Mhm.
least in my opinion. So that might be a hot take, but to me, it's actually not. So Friday what do you feel for best melodic rap performance? Who gets your snub or dub?
I am in agreement with both of you that it is 3 a.m. with Rhapsody and Erica. Yeah,
Hey,
we
is
got
that the
one
first
Hey,
time we all
I think this
unanimous.
is the
first time we
that we
all
all
three
picked.
agreed?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we got a
Look, the
trifecta.
first and last, first and last.
First and last. Yeah.
But
Oh,
yeah, I definitely think honestly, just looking at the others in the category, listening to some of those songs, they either aren't rap or they're not really that melodic. So, to really
right.
take the category together of like rap and like melodic rap, I feel like that's also the only song that's really doing that. Um,
Hmm.
Yeah, like
I'm not sure.
spaghetti. I'm like,
Yeah,
is there
that's
rap
exactly
on
Yeah,
spaghetti?
exactly
no.
no.
What is
And
it
I
both of
like
saying?
the
those other
song,
artists are country artists. So I'm like,
but
Linda Martell and Shaboozey are both like all of that's all country, right? So I'm not even sure how it got in this category.
right.
Yeah, very confusing, but okay. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I think we still don't trust you. We'll probably end up winning again just because the future and Metro Boomin. And I'll obviously be very disappointed if it does because 3 a.m. to me is the clear winner on here, and obviously we all agree. Um, well, and I listened to Kehlani, and I didn't end up vibing with that song that much. I don't know exactly what it was. Um, and yeah, Spaghetti doesn't really fit. I do not see it.
And
So
Latto's song is not that song is not very melodic.
no. Okay,
Like
so you've heard Big
it's
Mama.
chill. Yeah, it's not melodic is not the word I would use.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Like
Mhm.
it's not hard hitting rap, but it's not melodic.
Are there any artists you think of when you think of melodic rap? Because typically, like if I was thinking of melodic rap, I probably wouldn't think of even Rhapsody or Erykah Badu because I think of Erykah Badu as a singer and Rhapsody as a rapper. But then when they came together to make this song, they blended those styles extremely well. But like, is there like an artist that you like think of when you think of like melodic rap? Like I mentioned, Black, Ty Dolla Sign, even Drake kind of fit in that category.
Yeah, I think of Drake as hip hop. Um, and I would absolutely say Black. Um, Ty Dolla Sign a little bit. I feel like Ty Dolla Sign does
He's more of a singer
R&B and he
than he is a rapper.
features a
Yeah.
lot of rappers, so it
Hmm.
creates the feeling that it's melodic. Like he collaboratively, I think, creates melodic rap. But I think Black
Hmm.
is one of the few artists I could think of off the top that really does combine like
Hmm.
R&B elements, like that smoothness, but then he'll also start rapping and it's very seamless. It feels really good too.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he's the like poster child for this category. Like this
Hmm.
is like there's this one song he has, I can't remember the name of it. But it's he does a feature on a song. Um Oh, I Want You Around by Snow Allegra. If you listen to the remix
Hmm.
featuring Black, if you're wondering what we mean by melodic rap, and I think what Friday and Ty and I both mean, listen to I Want You Around remix by Snow Allegra featuring Black. And it is literally exactly what we're talking about because I don't think there's anybody that does this specifically better than him or as good as him or has really like taken it on as well as he has. So, um,
You know
yeah.
what's crazy? I'm looking at like the history of this category for the Grammys. You
Hmm.
know who's won it four times? Jay-Z.
What?
Jay-Z has tracks that have won it four times,
He literally
and
has a song called The Death of Autotune. Like, he
Run This Town, Empire State of Mind, No Church in the Wild, and Holy Grail.
I think they need to add a category of like best rap song collaboration, right? Because like all those songs are rap song collaborations, but Jay-Z is not doing anything melodic with his raps because he can't. And he knows he can't because he says that over and over again that he can't sing. And he makes fun of it all the time. But like Rhapsody is actually like doing some like melodic things with her raps in 3 a.m. So I don't really understand like that's best rap song collaboration to me, all those. But it's the Grammys. They still won't give rap its own category. So that's where we're at with those things. That's probably why they
Yeah.
just selected it.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
crazy. It does say it was formerly known as the best rap slash sung performance category.
Okay.
The
Oh,
hybrid
okay.
performance trends within the rap genre. So, like, to represent the inclusivity of the growing hybrid performance trends within the rap genre. But
See, but
That's
instead of
odd.
interesting.
changing
And
it,
that
they should have added this. They should
Hmm.
have kept best rap
right.
sung and added best melodic rap performance. Because those are
But
different
at
Exactly.
things.
least that would explain Linkin Park's Numb for having a win under this category
Oh my God.
with Jay-Z.
Yes.
Because
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
that makes a lot more sense
Okay.
than melodic rap.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us for this episode. Even I didn't know it was gonna end up being this long when we first started recording. But it's rap and
Hey,
hip hop.
that's the
Only
catchphrase of this show, baby.
yeah,
It's I had no idea it was gonna
it's
be
gonna
this
be this
long.
long. Oh my gosh. But like you said, there's obviously a lot to unpack in it. So leave us your thoughts below for sure. If you agree with us, if you think our takes are piping hot garbage, whatever it is, drop it in the comments and let us know your thoughts and let's start the conversation and keep talking about it.
And
Um,
thank you again for joining us for these past two Friday. We're very appreciative to have your input here.
Absolutely. I'm grateful to be here. This was a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to meet you virtually, Ty. And then obviously it's always great connecting King Wales. So this is great. I'm excited. And I'm excited to hear what people think. I guess maybe I'll watch the Grammys this year.
I know. I'm like, I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
watch the
I might actually
Grammys.
watch it,
I didn't realize
not
how
just look at it
much
the day after.
I didn't realize how
Yes.
strongly I felt about it until we did this, and I'm like, I want to see Rhapsody walk across the stage and accept that award. Like,
Mhm.
I need to see that. I need that to happen before, I die. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So thank you guys so much for joining, and we will catch you next time. Make sure you drop your thoughts below, like and subscribe, and yeah, thank you again. Like I said, this was Grammy Snubs and Dubs on King Wales album review party.